to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat. With everything going on in this nation, we need some information, and that's why salt need to be stationed in your rotation. With real talking, real topics, real people, real problems. Think we need some help to solve them, and leave it up to Colin and the Donovan. Cause that's what's that? Let's get ready. Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat. With everything going on in this nation, we need some information, and that's why salt need to be stationed in your rotation. With real talking, real topics, real people, real problems. Think we need some help to solve them, and leave it up to Colin and the Donovan. Cause that's what's that? Let's get ready.
To pull on the audio right there, and then we'll fade the music out, and then boom! We're live!
We're out here. We're live. Thank you for joining us. This is Salt of the Streets Pre-Show Live, episode 99. My name is Conan. My name is Donovan.
You're Conan.
Because I was thinking, like, should I say his name or should I let him say his name?
I'll be Calvin today.
Because we always, it's never the same thing. So, my name is Donovan. This is Colin. We are out here. Again, thank you for joining us. The studio is looking fucking great, Colin. Every day, or every week, every episode, there's improvements. You're doing different things while we're here, right here. So
hashtag COVID's had its perks, man.
Yeah.
Although
Again,
I'm officially COVID free.
Right. So let's just start there.
That's the way to be.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. So I was posting something on our story yesterday and was like, we've been pretty quiet this week. I didn't really know what to say because I wasn't sure what was going to happen, so we were going to just wait. I wasn't sure how we were going to play everything. So what happened this week? You had some exposure to COVID. So you thought you might have COVID. What happened?
I got involved in a direct contagion spreading event, perhaps. I was directly exposed to somebody last Thursday that popped positive for COVID on Friday. And there was a group of us that had met for a business meeting, essentially, which, it being in the time of COVID, we were all outside. We were all socially distanced and whatnot. And, on work sites and everything, all the mandates, you got to wear masks. You got to do all the things. And but regardless, we were all exposed. And so, immediately I found out on like Friday morning at like 7 o'clock. And so I immediately I just hit the eject button. I had been in my office for about maybe 30 minutes. Hadn't interacted with anybody, so I just kind of I brought out the Lysol spray, covered my tracks, and then just bolted.
On
called
the way
the doc.
out, you're like, okay, let's go.
Called the doc, and I was like, well, I think I got to get tested now. And they were like, well, actually, if your exposure was on Thursday, don't get tested till Monday. Because apparently,
some time to brew in the system.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think if you get tested too early, there's not enough of the virus in your body to actually, you can get a false negative.
Can be inconclusive.
Yeah, or you can get, a result that one person out of the group ended up getting, which was undetected instead of a negative or a positive. It was undetected.
What does that mean?
Yeah, and I actually asked my doctor about that, and apparently, it's common to happen if you get tested too early after your exposure.
So he probably did have it, just not enough of it.
Yeah, and he was actually sick too, and so
right.
Yeah, but he is, he's been quarantined this whole time, doing the whole thing, and then his doctor just gave him the thumbs up to come out.
And nobody else in your office has had any symptoms or anything like that?
Nope.
Everybody seems good to go?
There was one person I interacted with on Thursday in close proximity with for an extended period of time. We drove around in my truck for a couple hours because we were doing some site visits. And so, I had to do the obligatory, kind of reminiscent of the STD phone call. Like, you might want to get tested.
Yeah.
But he did, and his whole family did, and then both, you know, Carolina had exposure and whatever and all this good stuff. So we both ended up getting tested. And everybody's negative.
Mrs. Offie's good to go.
Yeah, she's good to
Everyone's
go.
squared away. So, just so everyone knows, we, you know, I wish that we could fucking Joe Rogan access to, like, rapid tests, you know, but I don't know. I feel like we did what you're supposed to do. I feel confident being around you. I'm not concerned about.
No, I was good about it. You know, I'm not trying to fuck around.
No.
I've known just some people that have, you know, lost people already that from COVID and complications of and so on and so forth. So, you know, it's nothing to be, you know, fucking around with. If you get exposed to it, you know, take it serious. Do what you need to do. Stay away from people.
Yeah.
I did finally get to take advantage of that contactless, free, you know, grocery pickup, all that good stuff.
And pizza, right? You had,
and
so
pizza.
Did they just leave it at your doorstep and they were like, hey, bye?
Yeah, the guy actually called me when he pulled up. He's like, well, how do you want to do this? I was like, well, just leave it on the hood of my truck up there, and then the receipt will be there, and then I'll just stick the receipt once it's signed and stuff in my windshield. And then so he dropped it off. I waved at him and shit. He's like hanging out in his car with his mask on and waving. Nice kid.
That's how it works, huh?
At least with these guys. Yeah. And then, but the grocery thing is dope, dude. I don't think we should get rid of this. This whole, like...
Well, it was a thing before COVID. People just didn't take advantage of it.
I definitely did not.
Oh, yeah. It's been a thing for a while.
Yeah, I did like a $250 grocery order and stocked up because we went through like everything in the house and finally was like, all right, I can't make it one more day, so we got to do a grocery order for tomorrow, all that good stuff. And it just, the whole thing, man. They were Johnny on the spot with the text message alerts and all that stuff. They text me when it was ready. And then you go and you park at a stall, you call the number, tell them what stall you're in, they come out, throw it in your truck, and then gone. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, so you didn't, okay, you can even have them delivered to your house.
Oh.
Yeah, so you could
I did not
totally
take advantage of that.
You could have popped open your half garage and just had them left everything in there.
Oh, that would have been cool.
And then they'll leave. Yeah, that's totally a thing.
The only problem then would be I wouldn't have gotten to leave the house.
True.
Man, even during like the initial lockdown, the regular lockdown time when everyone was working from home, we're trying to figure everything out. Like it was like I'd still go in the office every like 2 or 3 days because no one was there, you know, and we'd just go in and I'd print some things out or I'd meet with another, you know, colleague to go over a couple of things or something like that. So this was the first time I've actually stayed inside for like a solid week. And it wears on you. Even working from home and all that stuff, you know, it's still, you know, I'd work till like 3 o'clock, 3:30, and then just work on the house. Just try to keep busy. You know, all the new shelving and all the stuff going on here, the lighting.
Well, and I've worked the whole time. You know, we never stopped working. And in the very beginning, when nobody knew what was happening and we were pretty sure everybody was going to die. Like when that was happening, Jordan and the baby stayed home for probably like 2 weeks, and like I did all the grocery shopping and stuff because I was the only person that was leaving the house. But that was, you know, like I said, before we knew that like kids weren't like really dying from it and shit, and like I was like, I don't want my fucking kid to die, you know, of like some mystery disease. So, but once there was some strong evidence that they were good, I was like, oh well, fucking get out there and start shopping, bitch. Like you'll be fine. So, and she was antsy to leave the house. So
I'm sure.
So now they do now they do all the things, you know. We go to the mall to walk around and shit like that, and he likes that shit. Yeah.
Go to the mall. Who goes to the mall anymore besides moms that need a place to go?
Tomorrow.
You're gonna go to the mall tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's a holiday season, bro. That place is like
off
limits to me.
The shopping for the Christmas families at work. So we're still able to do that this year, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
So
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. It's pretty rad.
And that's they give you like the list of like these are the things that we would
want,
and it's always like
right.
Those aren't wants, guys, those are needs. I just want to buy you everything.
Last year I was like humbled beyond anything. I don't remember exactly what my personal issue was, but then I went to do the Christmas things, and the guy was a dad of the family, and he asked for like fucking deodorant and like shampoo and shit, and I was just like, I am such a piece of fucking garbage for like whatever I was upset about. I was like, I couldn't be a worse person. That like this man is asking for like gas to put in his truck and like fucking deodorant, and I'm upset about whatever, like a fairly material thing.
Humble
I totally
experience.
went to my truck and dropped some tears and was like, I'm beyond humbled in this moment,
Bro.
and I appreciate this. Like, yeah, it was much needed. Yeah, so I appreciate much more than I did before, and I always appreciated it. Oh, growing up, my mom would always take, like, I'm sure that you remember in banks, they used to have Christmas trees with stars on them of children that had wished for shit. And
Yep.
you could take a star off of there and buy the shit and bring it back to the bank. And my mom always did that. We were
Because your mom is a saint.
never flush with cash. Never. Like,
Yeah.
that was, and she always did that. At least one star she took off there. So shout out to my mom. She's in Florida right now, actually. My cousin Caitlin is getting married today.
Yes,
So shout out Caitlin.
Cool.
That's dope. So
Congratulations.
Caitlin. Congratulations, Nathan. If you guys are watching this, I honestly don't know at this point that I have any family that watches the show anymore other than my mom. So my Aunt Kara,
I know the feeling.
I know that.
Except for Jordan, of course. Your lovely
Well,
wife.
yeah.
She's supporting us.
Yeah.
Usually she's here in studio, but babies and whatnot.
I know
Although
that,
not babies, children at this point. You have a child.
That's correct.
You don't have a
He
baby
will be
anymore.
2 in January.
He needs to quit growing.
He's a grown boy.
He needs to quit growing. 'Cause he needs to just stay that cute level for a little while.
It's weird. It's very weird. Yeah. It's odd. Like the other day, I work with Tracy and Casey, and Casey is Tracy's kid. And I was just thinking,
Case bowls
like,
and trace bowls.
how fucking weird, that he works with his adult child now. And I was just like, I am not even close to prepared for him to be even anywhere over 2 years old. So
Yeah, just wait till he starts like forming his own thoughts and sentences and.
bro,
And then just,
he said he has a friend named Augie, right? Like this another kid that
Yeah,
we
that's
hang
right.
out with, and he's in like the clothing trading circle, that we do. So he has a jacket that's Augie's, and he fucking put this jacket on like 2 weeks ago, and he said Augie,
Whoa.
like he actually said like Augie. And now we're like,
What?
What the fuck just happened?
What
like
did you
you
just
didn't
say,
say
kid?
like dada or like duh, like you're talking about the dog and you said duh. It was actual Augie. He was like Augie. It was like, whoa. Yeah, so there is proper real words. He's doing like compound signing. He's doing multiple signs, like forming like milk, please. Oh my god, what? Yeah.
And then he goes to the milk, grabs the jug,
Dude.
because he's a boss.
Dude, it is. Yeah, no, it's something else. I believe. They're watching right now. So
That's
shout out,
super
baby
cool.
boy. You're a genius. It's crazy. Well, okay. So let me go. Now that we're talking about children, this is what we're going to talk about. Liberal Santa. Have you seen the Liberal Santa video with a Nerf gun?
No.
Colin.
Oh. Liberal Santa. Yeah, because he crushes
Denies
the kid's dreams.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
so anybody who hasn't seen this video went viral overnight, right? There is a child. He's up there, he's talking to Santa Claus, right? They're all in masks and stuff, and then whatever at the big table. And the kid tells Santa Claus that he wants a Nerf gun, and the Santa Claus denies him the Nerf gun. I've seen the video, obviously, and then I've also seen different people characterizing different severities,
So this is the one, right?
Yeah, and yes, it is. And the Santa Claus is like, it's no guns, Santa Claus can't bring you that. Like, your dad can buy that for you, but Santa Claus doesn't, like, I'm
Santa
not doing
Claus
that.
don't do guns.
There's plenty of other toys that you can get and blah, blah, blah.
Santa Claus is
I just
he's not a proponent of 2A.
Right, and I'm not going to run this into, like, a Second Amendment thing, but as far as, like, someone... I would not assault that Santa Claus, but I certainly would not just walk away without saying fucking anything. I would be like, I just don't understand why you feel like it's any of your fucking business to decide what presents my son does and doesn't get based off of your probably baseless political leanings. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you feel doesn't fucking matter. If you don't like it, if you don't like guns, if you think they're fucking terrible and the Second Amendment should be just completely abolished, just say, that's great. What else do you want? That is literally all you have to say, and no one will know. I, even as the father who loves guns, will not be like, that Santa doesn't like guns. He'll just be like, give me the list. We're moving on. Like, that's what I would think. Yeah,
what else do you want?
Yeah.
I think we need to have a talk with this Santa's Union.
So
Take a look at some of their core values. Because we're
Steven-
talking about a Nerf gun here, okay? This is...
he didn't even say BB gun. He wasn't even like, let me get a fucking BB gun. It's a, let me get a Nerf gun.
Let me get a Nerf gun.
Yes.
Nerf guns are dope.
The mom even steps in to like make sure that the Santa Claus knows. Like, no, he said Nerf gun. The Santa Claus is like, no.
No.
Nah.
We don't do that here.
Nah.
We don't do that here. Where was this Santa located? This mall Santa located?
I don't know. Steven Crowder had these people on next day.
Oh, he
And
did?
yes, he
Of
fucking
course he
dressed
did.
up as Santa Claus to have the parents, and the dad is a cop.
Oh.
So that's like, so the dad is a police officer. So it's not even like you can make the argument that like, oh, these people are just, too liberal with their use of guns. Like their kid is 4. He shouldn't be using guns when he's 4. The dad is a fucking police officer. He's a cop. Of course he wants a gun. He's a cop. His dad is a cop. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just running through this Market Watch article here to see if we can figure out where it was from.
not even a Nerf gun.
Not even a Nerf gun. Oh, let's see here. All he wanted
Yes.
for Christmas was a Nerf gun instead, as Second Amendment Twitter. I don't know, Twitter's up 45%,
So-
0.45%. Look at that.
There you
Blah, blah,
go.
blah, Liberal Santa.
Facebook down 1.29%.
Oh, dang. Well, they're going through some antitrust stuff right now.
MarketWatch.com.
Yeah. Where was this, guys? Like Louisiana Santa, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Yeah. Oh, well. Either way. I love the fact I can pull up an article now on the stream. That's
Yeah,
nice.
that's nice. Either way,
Well,
yeah.
that's great.
My point is, and I think everyone's point is that your personal beliefs as a Santa Claus don't fucking matter.
Don't
Just
crush the dreams of little children.
Just say okay.
You're
and
Santa.
move
That's your
on.
whole job.
Yeah. No, I would be furious. And the only reason it's on video is because the dad was working, and so the mom was taking a video of it for the dad to see. Yeah. No, Jordan even was
That's so sad. and
was
depressing.
more frustrated than I was about it, and
Wow.
said that she felt she would have even more words than I did. So it's just too much. Yeah, the liberty that people think that they have to take with other people's children. Is
I mean,
pretty
come on,
shocking.
man. That's just like a no-brainer.
Your COVID scare.
Just don't be a doucher.
I watched
Bad Santa.
Batman versus Superman.
Yes, you
I
did.
rewatched Batman versus Superman.
Hey,
Hey,
dog.
come
None of
on.
that.
It's okay.
No pre-show barks, please.
Unnecessary.
Calm down.
Yeah. Do you see the sign?
Yeah, it's right there.
Thank you. Anyway, yeah, so I rewatched Batman vs. Superman because I watched a documentary called Batman and Bill, right? Which I would recommend to everybody who's watching. And it is about how Batman was actually created by 2 people named Bob Kane and Bill Finger, but for like a million years, it's only been credited to Bob Kane. And it's because it was created in 1939, Batman.
2017.
And so when it was happening, Bob Kane is just getting Bill Finger to help him write these things, and Bob Kane is the one that's taking them to Action Comics to sell the stories and shit. So when the contract is signed, it's done by Bob Kane and not by Bill Finger, and so he just fucks him out of the rights of Batman for like 60, 70, 80 years. Like, until, yeah, because this was the very first movie. Batman vs. Superman was the first movie or any type of digital art or print media, any type of media, where Bill Finger was credited for being a creator of Batman.
Really?
1939, Batman was created. And it wasn't
Wow.
until 2017 that Bill Finger was given any type of credit.
So
Isn't that-
Bill Finger is probably no longer with us, I would assume, at
No,
this point.
he died. Bill Finger died penniless and alone in an apartment, curled up on a blanket, watching TV, only to be found by one of his friends several days later.
Ooh, 1974.
That's how Bill Finger died.
Yo, look at this OG.
That's Bob Kane.
That's Bob Kane.
Yes.
So he's the dude that's getting all the credit.
This is Bill Finger.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Well,
There's only
R.I.P. Bill
something
Finger.
like 14 pictures of Bill Finger that even exist because fucking nobody cared about him, because who the fuck is Bill Finger if he didn't
Because
make...
that shiesty dude
Yes, that's Bob Kane.
ran him out.
Yes.
Bob Kane ran him out. He looks like a shyster. Look at him.
Yes, so
Oh.
Bill Finger came up with the costume for Batman. He came up with Gotham City, the Joker, his backstory, all these things. Like, the name the Batman is about the only thing that Bob Kane actually came up with from my understanding from this movie. Yeah. And
Wow.
so this documentary is done by and with the guy who wrote the book that this documentary is based on, about Bill Finger's life. So, yeah.
That's so
in
wild.
it, this guy had to like track down Bill Finger's granddaughter to be able to try and sue for any type of rights, and they didn't even weren't going for money. They just wanted credit rights to his title credits,
And obviously won from the sound of it.
Yes, eventually, but apparently you have to have, in America, you have to have like an heir. You have to have some type of blood. That's the only person who can sue for credit.
Yes.
Something.
Because
Yeah.
other's they have no standing.
Exactly.
Which
so
is
he had to
something I've
track
been
down
learning
a
a lot about.
granddaughter. That was a great documentary. I would recommend it to everybody. So I rewatched Batman vs Superman and saw that Stephen Mnuchin was the executive producer, which is absolutely hilarious. That is why that's the only reason that I was watching that. And it is better than I remember it being. Still not great. It's really good, probably up until the point that Batman and Superman actually are fighting, and then when they stop fighting, and from there on, it's shit. But the first hour and 15, hour and a half or so, good. Would 10 out of 10 would recommend. Well,
The first half
7
hour.
out of 10 would recommend, and then the rest of it probably 5 out of 10 would recommend.
Wow.
Not bad. Ben Affleck is terrible as Batman.
As
for
per usual.
one of the bigger reasons because his body looks exactly like mine does right now, and I'm not in terrible shape, but I'm not in good enough shape to be Batman.
You're not Batman.
And if you're not in better shape than me, then you can't be Batman.
So did they do a whole I think it was which Batman was it? The Val Kilmer Batman, or oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the other guy. Michael
Keaton.
Michael Keaton Batman, where it was a hard suit that was hardcore chiseled like that. So it didn't matter what you look like. You could be a little flabby, but then you'd be.
And then George Clooney too.
Yeah.
Had the hard suit.
Maybe.
But
George
there's
Clooney
only
was the nipple Batman, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The thing about it is that there's one scene of Ben Affleck in the shower as Batman, and it's like this because he's not in good enough shape, right? And I'm not like I said, we have the same body, so I'm not shitting on Ben Affleck for looking the way he does, but I'm shitting on him for looking the way he does and trying to be Batman.
Okay.
The fact that you're not working absolutely super and he's I give he's an alcoholic in there and shit like that, but you're also fucking Batman, and there are scenes where he's
Batman's
deadlifting.
alcoholic in the movie?
Oh yeah, he's
Okay.
drinking all the time, but there's scenes where he's deadlifting 400 pounds and he's squatting mad weight, and he's doing pull-ups with 4 fucking plates wrapped around his waist. So if you're doing that, you are going to be in much better shape than I am.
Yeah.
Even if you are drinking every fucking day. If you're hitting the gym like that, and then you're also fighting crime at nighttime, I don't understand how you could look the way that Ben Affleck is supposed to look.
Lack of sleep, it messes up your metabolism.
Fuck that. I don't like the excuses for Ben Affleck. This motherfucker should have tried harder to be Batman. And that's
Oh my
exactly why
gosh.
Robert Pattinson is fucking Batman now.
Oh.
The DC movies are Aquaman was...
Doo-doo.
Do you know what the good
Pure dude.
DC movie was? Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman
Yep.
was actually a good DC movie. I actually enjoyed that one. I look forward to the other one. 1984 will be the next one. So that's what it is. It's Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, okay.
That's what the...
Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah. The last one was set in World War One.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got really excited because as soon as you say 1984, I go, what? Orwell?
No, it's
Orwell?
Wonder Woman
Orwell?
1984. That's just the year that she's in now. In Batman vs. Superman, in the very end, at Superman's funeral, she's standing in the back. Gal Gadot is talking to Batman. And,
Just had to take a second there.
and
Appreciate it.
she says, 100 years ago or whatever, I fought with man and I watched this happen and so. And then for 50 years or whatever, I lay dormant and decided I was going to kick it. And so, yeah, so
She
that's
is total badass.
she
Wonder
was
Woman is
also
a total
in the
badass.
Israeli military before she
Oh, yeah.
was Wonder Woman. So
Well, it's because everybody in Israel was.
Yes.
Well, mostly everybody.
but she's at least 70% certified badass just
yeah.
because she had to be in the fucking Israeli military.
Exactly. She
So-
could still kill you with her bare hands, probably.
Certainly, and she weighs 5 pounds.
And I find that
So-
strangely attractive.
Shout out Gal Gadot.
Exactly.
Um,
You've been watching Mandalorian at all?
No, because you fucking got me to swear off Disney Plus, and then you're like, oh, are you watching Mandalorian? No, after I went and told 90 people about fuck Disney Plus. But now, I'm fucking at work and I'm running out of shit to watch.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, do you know what's going to have only fucking safe for work content? Fucking Disney Plus.
Yep.
All of that shit is shit that I can watch at work.
Totally
So,
is.
and then I accidentally clicked on the wrong fantasy link the other day, and it opened up ESPN Plus. And it was like, oh, do you want Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus for $16 a month? And I'm like, well, fucking probably. God damn it. So, yeah. So we
If there's
talked
one
about it.
thing AOC has taught us, dude, it's that capitalism always wins.
So allegedly, theoretically, we're going to cancel the accounts that are in my name, and Jordan's going to sign up for it in her name so that we can get this bundle package of $16 a month.
Oh, that's dope.
And then we're going to have all these things. Because ESPN Plus, then you can watch like a bunch of baseball games on there and like all the 30 for 30s and like a bunch of dope sports shit.
Yeah, and
like,
you
I
live
can
for
watch.
that kind of stuff, too. I mean, that's not
Dude,
my world.
30 for 30s, even if you don't like sports, are some of the best documentaries around. Every single one is
About
done by a
sports.
different director. Yeah, and they're fucking great documentaries. I'm telling you.
I've heard almost nothing but good things about. I mean, there's 30 for 30s that I think have earned like very prestigious documentation awards.
Yeah,
and stuff like that too. I mean,
and they're
the
not
filmmaking
all
is
about
always
like
usually pretty good.
hardcore sports. Like a lot of them are about individual people, and so they're about like life stories and shit like that. And there's one about like Boston College and like betting on basketball and that whole scandal. So shit like that. It's good shit. Dream teams and whatnot. It's good. There's one about the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys in the 80s. That's a fire documentary.
Bad boys in the 80s.
Have you seen the Michael Jordan documentary?
No, I haven't seen
Oh,
that one, but
man.
I've heard a lot of the fallout that came for that.
Bro.
Apparently, Michael Jordan was like a total asshole.
Of course.
But
he's the
of course,
fucking GOAT.
All
He's the GOAT.
most great individuals are generally they generally have personality traits that are abrasive to the rest of society, which is why they're also kind of great individuals.
Yeah, and
So it
I'm
doesn't
sure
surprise
that
me at all.
I'm sure in his private life he's probably super sweet and very
Oh,
kind and
yeah.
everything. But yeah, I've certainly to be his teammate sounds like it was just an
Yeah.
excruciating experience. That's 1,000% worth it. Anybody who hasn't seen Michael Jordan documentary, what the fuck is it called? I don't remember.
The Michael
But-
Jordan doc?
Yeah, don't remember what it's called.
What is that
but
called?
it's 1,000% worth it. Big fan. Let's see here.
'Cause it's like
Top
The
request.
Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
Boom. Top request.
Yes, this is episode 99, so we should talk about this. This is going to be our last recording for the year,
Indeed.
obviously, and
Going out with a bang.
we will announce towards the new year when our pickup date will be, because we haven't picked it yet, but we will announce the date that we will be coming back for episode 100. It's going to be fat. We have a top request for that day. Morgan wants to know about the death penalty, a little bit of the history of the death penalty, specifically involving Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Excuse
And I
me,
actually,
which-
it was so weird because I hadn't started to research this topic at all yet. And yesterday, in one of the articles that I was just kind of going through, I saw something about how, like, there's been 10 executions so far this year.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, wow. I bet you that has something to do with why we're going to talk about this.
Yes. So, and especially in the last few months, like there's been a push. Donald Trump is like, I'm trying to get this shit done before I leave office.
I'm trying to murk these people.
Which is wild, right?
Right.
The death penalty is something people have asked me, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, because I
just get real uncomfortable.
at a
with-
core level, I don't like, obviously, the idea of the state deciding people just get to die. But I
Right.
also, from a personal and taxpayer standpoint, don't like the idea of paying for people to just live and like have not a good life, but have 3 meals and be taken care of in an extremely minimal way for the rest of your life. I just don't. Something about that doesn't sit right with me, but I don't know who I think the decision maker should be for that type of shit.
Jake said he's got some ideas for you guys. I'd love to hear our opinions on.
Love it.
So we'll definitely hit you up.
Yes.
Yeah, we know where to find you. You know where to find us. We'll get you.
Yeah.
We'll get you on the docket.
Briefly, death penalty. Where are you at?
Right now, I have to take the mostly principled stance of I'm very uncomfortable with the state choosing who gets to live and who gets to die.
Yeah.
But I also have are there certain pedophiles that I think probably should not be on this earth anymore? like I'd have a hard time defending their right to live, I guess, in our society. Maybe banishment would be a good thing. I don't know.
There's a guy. There's a documentary about him on Netflix. Heard about it before the documentary. Cheated on his wife, and then ended up killing his wife and his daughters, and like stored them in a horrible way. Did terrible shit to them. Right? Shoved them in like an oil tank through like a tiny thing. It's a whole deal, right?
Wow. Like the 10 Cloverfield Lane style.
Right, except this was literally like an 8-inch opening that he put to.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is, right, like, do I think that guy should just continue to like live and like do whatever? No, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You because you decided you were done with your family and didn't want to just leave them and be a fucking man about it. You decided to murder your wife and your children, and then think that you could just move on and get away with it. He fucking lied about it for like 3 weeks before, you know what I'm saying? For a long time before like anything.
They always do.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's at the time where I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, maybe
I don't
the
know
state
if you
shouldn't
can
kill
fix
him.
that.
Maybe we should just tell the prisoners, like, if this person does die, you're not gonna get in more trouble if we find out who does it. We're just gonna like.
Isn't that
I don't
essentially
know.
the same thing, though?
That's what I'm like. I don't know. I don't know how to handle a situation like that. I'm not trying to be crass. I know that all these people have families. That dude's, his parents still love him, even though he did horrible fucking things.
Yep.
I can't imagine a thing that would make me stop loving my son. But I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know how to.
At some point, we have to have some kind of line in society that says you can't be a part of this anymore.
Yeah.
But what to do with, Elon Musk needs, first thing we build.
Let Elon Musk decide.
Right? First thing we let Elon build is a prison on the moon so that we can stick all those people that we want to send, if they're going to be punished with the death penalty, just send them up to the Supermax on the moon. Game
Super
over.
Jail. Isn't that
Super Jail.
That's a Adult Swim show, right? Super Jail?
I would not know.
Google that.
Google that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Super Jail is a show.
Yo, pull that shit up.
Yeah.
Super Jail.
Super Jail.
There was a movie.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God, it is.
Look at
Super
that.
Jail with an exclamation point.
Super Jail.
Oh my God, that
Look
looks
at
like
that
a drug
animation.
trip. Let's pull that up for the viewers to see here. Super Jail.
It's Adult Swim.
Yeah, that looks terrifying.
Busty woman. Man in a
Yeah.
purple suit.
And some aliens.
Super Jail.
That looks
So-
like it might be from. You ever seen the show Brickleberry?
Yes.
Yeah, the animation style looks reminiscent of Brickleberry.
I like Daniel Tosh.
Daniel
Daniel
Tosh
Tosh is a little bear in that show.
yes.
I like
and,
Daniel Tosh.
Yeah, and that was his kind of creative baby, if I remember right.
I think
that's
so.
his kind of thing, which was pretty good for a while. I mean, it is
Yeah.
about as gross as you can get.
I finished Community last week.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's hard to get through the last.
It was
hump.
not anywhere near as good.
Because
Season
it's
6
really
is-
sad.
Yeah, is nowhere near as
Yeah.
good. Like it was. Jake was talking about fucking Chevy Chase not being on that show anymore. So like I
Yep.
listened to that,
Oh, yeah.
the phone call or the voicemail, and then I also like watched some interview that he did and shit. And
Rather
I don't know.
uncomfortable, isn't
It just seems like he almost like just is not living in reality. Like it seems like Chevy Chase is just kind of in his own shit, So
It kind of makes sense, considering where he'd come from.
yeah,
And the style of his upbringing and like moving through Hollywood at that point and in the comedic circles, he was like
Yeah.
the star of the show everywhere he
Right.
went, and everything was always centered and focused around him. But at the end of the day, in a creative endeavor, it ain't supposed to work like that.
Yeah.
You got to be a team player. I just realized I'm getting like sun glare from the shades over there.
like
Not
a
fan.
tiny. Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Like on my forehead.
The last thing I think that I want to hit on, and this is just kind of a sneak peek into some of the things that we're going to talk about. We talked last week, obviously, a lot about Joe Biden and the gun policy. We got a lot of good reviews on that, a lot of good feedback in person, certainly. Paula Moretti, right? We talked last week about some of these guns that you can like build at home, quote unquote ghost guns.
Ghost guns.
Yeah. So Paula Moretti got raided yesterday.
Yeah.
Warehouse, or the
By the ATF.
whatever. Yeah. So they took, supposedly mad documents from P80. So I don't know what that means. It is, I think, important for everyone to remember that Donald Trump is still president, right?
Indeed.
This is not something that happened under Joe Biden, and I'm not
Nope.
I'm not taking anything away from anybody because I don't think that this is going to see a huge turnaround once Joe Biden is president. But this gives me pause because it's happening under a Republican president, somebody who has spoken openly, many times about being pro Second Amendment and I'm protecting your Second Amendment rights and all of this shit. And the ATF, a bureau, whatever you want to call it, that is underneath the purview of the president, is being allowed to run rampant over the last few months, releasing letters and shit before Thanksgiving about pistol braces and now this shit with Paul Moretti. So there are more people than you would think, and not you, but I mean you, the audience, more people than you would think that have P80 guns that don't have them because they can't pass a background check, but because they wanted to build something or they want something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like they look like Glocks and shit most of the time, like the pistols do. So it's
a
not
good-looking gun.
In the articles that I was reading yesterday about it. They're all about ghost guns are used in crimes where people can't buy firearms and shit like that. And we talked about it, like I said, we talked about it last week, but to build a gun like that is not like excessively cheaper than buying a firearm. You still have to buy the slide, the barrel, all of that shit. You still have to buy for this to be a functional firearm. So
yeah, a lot of times you'll spend more money doing a custom build like that,
right,
than you would just by buying a manufacturer model.
Right. So like I said, it does give me pause. That we're seeing this from a Republican president, somebody who's talking about preserving the Second Amendment, and now we're moving into an administration that is openly, in my opinion,
incredibly hostile
to the Second Amendment. So it's concerning to me that this is happening now, how much worse it could potentially get under a Biden administration very, very quickly, that this is happening already.
Oh, yeah.
And
a lot of those can be done through executive order.
This is just being done. The ATF is just deciding that they're going to do the pistol braces, the way the honey badger, that was a difference in the way that they were measuring the length of pull. They just changed the way they're measuring the length of pull overnight because of the way they decided they're going to do it.
Exactly.
So it's not even executive order. Yeah, it's just arbitrary decision making by the head of the ATF. So
executive branches, we should all remember, have very little in the way of leashes to be held.
Yeah.
You can't hold them tight because essentially they just they get established, they get a set of procedures that they have to follow, and then they just up to them to craft their own regulations and procedures, and then as long as nobody calls them out on it, then they're good.
Well, and especially when you're talking about the ATF, it's not something that they regularly put out press releases on. It's up to you as the firearm owner to keep up to date on the rules that the ATF is setting down.
Yep.
So it's up to you to continue to visit their website and look at their handbook and all this shit to find out what the current regulations are, to make sure that if something changed, you can be in compliance with it, which just doesn't seem like the way that things should be done. If you're deciding whether or not somebody is a felon, it seems like you should kind of tell them whether or not they are.
It should probably be handled legislatively.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Jake is watching, so shout out. Morgan, thank you for these cookies. They are fucking delicious.
They're so good.
Big fan. Yeah, stop there.
The usual arrangement.
This week, we are going to talk about, on the docket, student loan debt. We didn't talk about it last week, so we're going to talk about the idea, the rumors, the possibility of a student loan debt forgiveness executive order.
All the quotes
from Joe Biden, from the administration. So we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about Chinese spies infiltrating America, Democratic campaigns, and being Dianne Feinstein's drivers. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a Texas lawsuit that is no longer happening because the Supreme Court said that they wouldn't hear it. So this is a quick shout out. Let's just quickly shout out to everybody who said that Amy Coney Barrett was going to help Donald Trump steal the election.
Yep.
And then she just voted and said, "Fuck you, Donald Trump." So,
Yep.
shout
There was
out.
only two justices that didn't necessarily, approve of the thing. But we'll get into that as we talk about it later.
It's a good thing that we didn't let her get into that seat. Oh wait, she was, and it didn't happen anyway. So that's pretty interesting.
Imagine that, kind of like we were thinking.
Shout out everybody. Sports, because fantasy football playoffs are happening this week. I'm playing Morgan. Morgan, I love you, but I'm about to whoop that ass. I want this money super bad.
Some brave talk.
I got some
talking
plays
to the
to buy.
Ninja like that.
I know, and I
Judy
I hate when she's always like real negative when you're playing her, and I feel like that doesn't help my team do better. You know what I'm saying?
As in, like, she's
like, "Oh, you're definitely gonna win." Like you're gonna, and
she's
that type
negative
of shit
towards her own chances
yes,
at winning.
Yes, and that type of shit does not help me win. You know, I hate that. So I have
You need
to,
that fire. You want somebody to fight back.
I think that she knows. I think that's her strategy is to like be under. Yeah, no, I don't
Super
like it.
down low.
I don't like it. It's
like,
nefarious.
Oh no, I'm not going to win this battle.
Exactly.
I mean, it's going to be so bad.
Sports.
Until I murder you.
Hunter Biden, because
yeah,
again,
it's officially okay now to talk about. Hunter Biden is okay to talk about now.
But we can't talk about too much of the election shit because YouTube said that they will straight pull our content. And if you guys didn't see, they did announce this week that if anybody was talking about or insinuating that the election was untold or that there was widespread voter fraud or hacking into the machines or switching of votes or anything, which I'm just for YouTube, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying this is what you said you would do. Don't pull us down. I'm just saying. They did say they were going to start pulling down people's content off of YouTube if they were seeing that, which I think is fucking terrifying. That if it's something that is so confident that didn't happen, why are we not allowing people to even discuss?
We're just not allowed to have free speech anymore on the platforms, which is pretty standard operating procedure at this point.
If you've been watching this show, for any extended period of time, you understand what we're doing here, so you can understand exactly why that's so concerning to us.
Highly.
We are consistently
Everyone should be
covering
worried about
things.
that.
This Hunter Biden thing we did, fucking half an episode on.
In October.
Multiple episodes, before the election, and it was peddled by the media as Russian disinformation, as complete nonsense, and now they're using that exact same information.
It was straight pulled down from the social media platforms. You could not share the link to it. Remember we talked about, the official Congress website not being able to share it. I mean, it was totally blatantly shut down in front of everybody to see because they just dubbed it Russian misinformation, which, as we find out now, a federal criminal investigation has been underway since 2018 on this.
For 2 years.
But now it's been finally deemed by our tech overlords and our political betters that now it's okay to talk about. Yeah. For whatever reason.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit.
A little bit. I'm not upset about that at all.
And that's it. That's what we got going on.
Be a good show.
Shout out to Morgan. Shout out Jake. Shout out Officer Brian for the topic request last week.
Absolutely.
We got some good stuff going on this week. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here. I want to make sure that if you're going to listen to the show, when you listen to the show, it comes out on Monday, obviously. Leave us a rating and a review. With the way that shadow banning is going and all this stuff, that is literally the only thing that we can do to get more exposure. They literally won't even take our money anymore.
Yep.
So the only thing we can do is just get more shares, more reviews, more ratings so that people see it, more exposure.
And if you're watching it here on YouTube after we close this stream down, if you're watching it on, on our YouTube channel later on, leave a comment. Just leave a comment on there. If everybody that watches our videos leaves one comment on there, just if it's a thumbs up emoji or whatever it is, or a thumbs down emoji, it doesn't really matter. Anything that helps boost the content and lets more people, see it. So we're not asking, but we're asking.
Yeah. So if you see any of our other content, obviously we have our Instagram at Salt of the Streets, we have our YouTube at Salt of the Streets, our Facebook at Salt of the Streets. We have our own personal social. I always want to say private, but it's not private. I always want to say private. We have our own personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter, Salt of the Streets on Parler, and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. He's a Big Bird Offie on all those things. You can find all of this information on saltofthestreets.com. You You can find our podcast anywhere. You can find obviously our videos on YouTube, pre-shows, clippies, shorts, whole shows, everything. It's all on there. Thank you, everybody. Look out on Monday for the show. Have a fantastic weekend. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.